doorstep, things of joy, of ecstasy, of peace, and of happiness. But there's other emotions that come that cause sorrow, despair, disconnection, and depression, and fear, and anxiety, and stress, and worry. In other words, you have to understand where is the source of it's coming from. Where's the source? Right? And you have to understand that the enemy will use people, situations, and circumstances to pull you out of your place of peace. Does this make sense? He'll use people, relationships, and dissension to pull you from your place of peace. Then it says, sin is crouching at the door. Sin is crouching at the door. In other words, at the gateway of your emotion is the avenue of sin. And that word, I don't want to throw too many Hebrew words at you, but the original language in the Hebrew of sin means this. What it says is, sin is not just crouching at the door, but it is aggressively pursuing the opportunity to pounce on you. That's what it says in the Hebrew. In other words, it's showing the original language talks about sin is like a predator getting ready and is aggressively looking at the opportunity or the crack. Remember how it talks about how Satan is looking for a foothold. It's looking for an open door of offense through an emotion that was opened. Now look at the pathway. Look at the pathway. It's looking for an open door of offense for an emotion that has been exposed in the wrong way, right? And the Bible says that sin is crouching at the door. The original word in the Hebrew to describe sin is looking for an opportunity to aggressively pursue and take you down like a predator. And so when you allow those emotions of offense, of anger, of loneliness, of I always and they never, you know what I'm saying? When you feel like the enemy's always coming, making you feel like you're the worst and you less than, and nobody love you and nobody hate you, and they're always beating down on you and making you feel like woe is me, all those emotions that the enemy is wearing your behind out with, it is a demonic attack against your peace. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm telling you how the enemy is working. He's looking to expose and exploit those emotional cracks in your life because they are unredeemed in the light of the truth of God's wisdom for your life. Does this make sense? And he'll allow those exposed areas of emotion to come through offense or through hurt or through anger, through those familiar areas or through relationships with somebody else or an opportunity or an interaction with somebody else, right? And he'll cause those emotional responses to cause an open door of offense or a crack of opportunity for anger to creep in. And the Bible says this sin is crouching at the door, but the Bible says this, be ye angry, but sin not. That's why it says its desire is what for you. In other words, sin's desire is to pounce on you and it wants to aggressively attack you and pull you away from your place of peace, right? But watch this now. You must, and the Hebrew word for this is you must master it. In other words, you've got to walk in the inner authority and the dominion to rule over it. Its desire is to take you out, but I've given you the authority and I've given you the power to have the authority and dominion over the desire for it to have you. Somebody say inner dominion. Its desire is to take you out, but watch the glide path. He'll use offense, anger, and relational friction to cause a reaction of emotion for an open door of offense to get a foothold to crack in so he can pounce on you, to pull you from your peace and cause strongholds to form. Somebody say, walk it out.